The morning at Denver International Airport had the hum of quiet urgency. Overhead, the Rockies stood stoic in the distance, their snowy peaks catching the pale March sun. Inside the terminal, announcements crackled over the intercom in a staccato rhythm, and the shuffle of travelers formed a ceaseless tide. Families pulled wheeled suitcases in clusters, business people walked fast with one eye on their phones, and flight crews passed like phantoms in pressed uniforms. Among the travelers that morning was a woman in a simple ivory linen dress. Her name was Elena Morris. She stepped off the shuttle bus with her chestnut hair half-pinned and a worn backpack slung over her shoulder. Her flats were scuffed from city sidewalks and airport tiles, and the only jewelry she wore was a faded silver bracelet that had once belonged to her grandmother. Elena was 34, and the kind of beautiful people noticed a second too late. Serene, deliberate, quiet. She wasn't traveling for leisure or business in the typical sense. She was heading to Seattle for a strategy summit with humanitarian leaders, a project she'd spearheaded herself. She rarely flew first class, despite being married to one of the wealthiest men in the country, but this was an overnight flight, and she needed the peace. Her husband, Andrew Morris, had redefined the travel industry with his company, Aerosky. What began as a software company had evolved into a global airline known for both affordability and luxury. Their private jet sat idle in a Denver hangar. Elena had declined it. "I need to stay grounded," she often said. "People can't be helped from 30,000 feet in a bubble." She walked past the lounge and straight to Gate 24A. The gate agent, a young woman with blonde hair tucked under her cap, squinted at Elena's boarding pass. "Name?" she asked, scanning Elena's dress, backpack, and modest appearance. "Elena Morris," she answered softly. The agent's fingers paused on the keyboard. Her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. A man nearby, wearing a sharp navy suit and a Rolex that gleamed with ego, muttered, "I think you're at the wrong gate, ma'am. Coach is that way." Elena didn't answer. She smiled faintly and looked toward the jet bridge. She handed over her pass and waited. The first-class cabin of the new Aerosky jet gleamed in the overhead light. Wide leather seats, warm wood paneling, the faint aroma of lavender essential oils. Elena took her place in seat 2A and tucked her backpack beneath her seat. She opened her novel, worn at the spine, and let herself breathe. The calm didn't last long. From across the aisle, a woman in a bright red designer dress with gold earrings and 3 phones set on the armrest glanced up and snorted. Her name was Vanessa Remley. She leaned toward the man beside her, lips barely moving but loud enough for half the cabin to hear. "Who let in the housekeeper?" she hissed. "That dress looks like something from the donation bin." A few chuckled. Another passenger, a teenager with too much cologne and too little shame, took a picture and whispered, "Bet she snuck in." As Elena adjusted her bracelet, the whispers gathered like a storm cloud. The eyes burned on her skin. She turned another page. It did not matter. But someone thought it did. Miranda Jameson, head flight attendant, approached. Late 40s, her hair slicked into a tight bun that defied gravity and joy alike. Her eyes scanned Elena like a customs officer. "Excuse me, ma'am," she said, not unkind but not warm either. "May I see your boarding pass?" Elena handed it over without flinching. Miranda's smile faltered. She looked at the name, then at Elena's plain clothes. Her fingers itched toward the earpiece in her ear. She walked briskly to the galley, where she found Tracy Bell, new, overly eager, and Logan Kemp, who never smiled without sarcasm. "Does she look first class to you?" Miranda asked in a low voice. Tracy glanced. "I mean, she's quiet. Probably switched passes. Fake it till you make it," Logan added, laughing under his breath. Miranda returned with a forced smile. "There seems to be an error in the system. Can you come with me for a moment?" Elena stood, backpack in hand, as passengers openly stared now, no longer pretending not to. She followed Miranda down the aisle like someone summoned for interrogation. A woman muttered, "Some people just want to pretend." A man in row 6 joked, "Guess dressing up for Halloween came early this year." At the rear galley, Miranda tapped on her tablet. "Seat 2A is reserved for a high-tier loyalty member." "That's not you." "I booked it," Elena said calmly. "Months ago." Tracy crossed her arms. "Please don't make a scene. Economy has room." Logan stepped closer. "Or we can call security." The words were clear. So was the threat. Elena nodded. No need. I'll move. She walked back through the cabin of whispers and lifted eyebrows. Someone laughed and said, "Busted." Another person lifted their phone. "This will blow up." She took seat 32C. The air smelled of stale pretzels and cleaning chemicals. The cushion was thin. The disdain was thicker. "Nice try, honey," said a man in a cartoon tie, leaning across the aisle. "Stick to your lane." His wife pulled out her phone and filmed. Rachel opened her book again. Her fingers didn't shake, but the noise pressed in from all sides like a trial without a jury. "I heard she tried to sneak into first," someone said. "I heard she's a blogger trying to go viral. She's probably faking everything." When a flight attendant named Carla passed by, she whispered loudly to Logan, "That's her. The one who caused the whole mess." "She's lucky we let her fly at all," Logan replied, tossing a thin blanket that landed half on Elena's lap. "You need anything back here?" Tracy asked loudly. "Or are you good with pretzels?" The laughter was sharp. Elena turned a page. Lisa, the wife of the Thai man, whispered gleefully into her camera. "She's the one. The fake rich chick. Budget Barbie. The plain sort." So did the scorn. "Think she's ever seen $100 bill?" A businessman joked behind her. "Probably rides the bus when she's not playing Cinderella." During meal service, Tracy skipped her row. "Oops. Out of meals." Miranda passed with the premium tray, glanced at Elena, and said, "Not for her. She's lucky to be here." More chuckles. More photos. Someone tweeted, "Lady who tried to scam first class gets roasted mid-flight." Elena stared out the window. The stars were too distant to offer comfort. When the plane landed in Seattle, dawn painted the sky in soft grays. Elena waited until the others deplaned. As she reached the front, Miranda offered a chili. "Hope you learned something." Tracy added, "Next time, maybe a Greyhound's more your style." Logan just winked. "Have a good one, backpack girl." Outside, Elena's phone buzzed. The video had gone viral. The caption, "First class fail, know your place." Millions of views and rising. In a hotel room overlooking the Puget Sound, Elena sat on the edge of the bed. She didn't post. She didn't rant. She opened her laptop and typed one word into the search bar. Incidents. She scrolled. She found 27. 27 documented complaints of Aerosky staff humiliating or degrading passengers based on appearance. She compiled them all. Notes, dates, transcripts. She added one more, her own. At Aerosky's Seattle headquarters, the top floor boardroom buzzed. Executives, shareholders, PR strategists all whispered as 3 flight attendants waited in the front row. Miranda had reapplied her lipstick. Tracy crossed her legs nervously. Logan leaned back, still smug. Then the doors opened. Andrew Morris entered first. Behind him, Elena in her ivory dress. No backpack this time. Just a file. "Thank you all for coming," Andrew began. "Yesterday, a passenger was wrongly humiliated on Flight 472. She was accused of deception, insulted, and moved to economy by your staff." Gasps were stifled. He pointed to the screen. Lisa's video played in full. Laughter, taunts, threats. "The woman you mistreated," Andrew said, "is Elena Morris. My wife. And co-founder of Aerosky." The room was silent. "She owns 40% of this company. She wrote the customer service charter you swore to uphold." Elena stepped forward. "This isn't about me," she said. "It's about the 27 others who weren't lucky enough to be married to a CEO. It's about the culture we allow when we equate worth with appearance." She handed out the file. "I don't want apologies. I want accountability." The board voted. Immediate action. Miranda would spend the next 3 months at the customer complaints desk. Tracy would work exclusively in economy. Logan was reassigned to baggage services, rain or shine. Each would undergo full retraining under Elena's supervision. Each would read the charter line by line. The campaign launched that same week. Respect beyond appearance. Policies were rewritten. Staff retrained. Dress codes dropped. Dignity restored. 3 months later, Elena boarded a flight from Denver to Chicago. Same dress. Same bracelet. A new gate agent smiled. "Welcome aboard, Mrs. Morris." Logan stood by the door. He nodded. "Thank you for everything." She took seat 2A. Across the aisle, a young woman with a duffel bag clutched a boarding pass. The crew treated her gently, offered a drink, asked if she needed a blanket. She smiled in surprise. Elena watched. The clouds parted outside the window. Somewhere far above Bias, the plane soared. She turned another page and smiled.